Here's the truth. Innovation isn't a campaign. It's your survival plan. I've seen this firsthand. I spent years at Puma, I worked at Disney, two brands that build their legacies on constant reinvention. At Puma, I saw how a single product innovation like disc technology in the 90s or more recently nitro foam in running could reset the entire conversation. And at Disney, I saw how a story wasn't just a film, it was an IP engine that fed parks, merchandise, games, and streaming. Innovation isn't optional, it's oxygen for your brand. Stop innovating and your brand suffocates. And in this video, I want to show you the difference between real innovation and surface level freshness. Why timing matters less than momentum, why naming your breakthrough makes it unforgettable, why category labels trap lazy brands, and why surprise is part of the game. Because here's the thing, I've sat inside the rooms where big brands decide whether to take the risk or play it safe. And I can tell you, the only thing that keeps a brand alive long term is innovation that's real, distinct, and culturally alive. Now, one small request before we go into this, if you liked this episode and my work, do me a favor and subscribe to this channel. You can also follow me on your favorite social media platform where I share how I'm building IP as a founder every step of the way. All right, now let's dive in. Need to scratch? Most brands confuse freshness with innovation. Freshness is cosmetic, a new flavor, a seasonal color, a marketing campaign dressed up as new. But innovation is structural. It changes how people experience the category you're in. At Puma, launching Mostro in 1999 wasn't just a new shoe, it fused sport and fashion before athleisure even existed. More recently, Puma's Nitro Foam didn't just add cushioning, it redefined how the brand competed with Nike and Adidas in the performance running. At Disney, launching Frozen wasn't just another animated film, it became a global IP ecosystem that still sells out arenas, toys, and streaming slots years later. Freshness fades, innovation compounds. Now, the problem is freshness feels safer. It looks good in the marketing calendar, but it doesn't build moats. Innovation is much harder, it's much riskier, but it's the only thing that scales across decades. And if you're waiting for the perfect moment to innovate, you're probably already too late. Culture doesn't wait for perfect timing. If you hesitate, the moment's gone. At Puma, I remember how the brand nearly missed the lifestyle sneaker boom. For years, performance shoes dominated the conversation. But when culture shifted, when sneakers became fashion, Puma had to move really fast. That pivot to collaborations with Rihanna and Fenty, it saved Puma's relevance with a new generation. Now, what's the lesson here? You can't wait until research says it's safe. Culture has already moved on by then. Nike proved this with Colin Kaepernick. They didn't wait for a consensus, they acted while the momentum was alive. Was it risky? Absolutely, but it was also iconic. Momentum beats perfection every single time. This is why founders need to innovate while they're still moving, because by the time you feel ready, the wave is already gone. And when you do launch something new, it better be ownable, which means it needs a name. Think about Puma's disc system. It wasn't just a closure system, it was branded, distinctive, and unforgettable. Or think about Nike Air or Skims Fits Everybody fabric. Think about Adidas Boost. If you can't name your innovation, you don't have one. Unnamed innovations die in silence. A slightly lighter foam doesn't stick in the consumer's mind, but the named technology becomes IP. At Puma, for example, every real innovation is branded. Trinomic, cushioning, cell, disc, that's what made them stick. And that's the difference. When you brand innovation, you own it. When you don't, it's just table stake. But even with strong innovations, brands still get stuck. And not because the product is weak, but because the category boxes them in. Taking a small break from this video to talk to you about the Unmatched Collective. It's my private community for founders, brand leaders, and creators who want to build unmatched brands, not just for quick wins, but for the long term. Inside, I share the frameworks I've learned over my 20 years career at brands like Puma, Disney, and Warner Bros., and through building my own company. We dive into real case studies, live sessions, and the kind of founder-to-founder conversations you can't get on social media. So if you're serious about building a brand that lasts with clarity, purpose, and the right mindset, the link is below. Now let's get back to the video. Okay. The market will box you in. Innovation is how you break free. I saw this up close at Disney. For decades, people saw Disney as kids' cartoons, but innovation in storytelling, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars broke the label and expanded what Disney could be. At Puma, the label was performance sports brand, but when they leaned into lifestyle collabs like Rihanna, Fenty, Alexander McQueen, it broke the box. And suddenly, Puma wasn't just performance, it was culture. That's the power of innovation. It lets you shift the narrative. Skims is still fighting this. They started in shapewear, now they sell everything from bras to bodysuits, but the label still lingers. Innovation is going to be their way out. Apple did the same. From computers to iPods and iPhones, each innovation shifted the box until the old label did not matter anymore. So, if you want freedom, you have to innovate your way out. And once you have done that, you can't let the market get comfortable. That's where surprise needs to come in. Predictability. Let me say being predictable because it's easier. Being predictable is the enemy of innovation. Even if you're innovating, if people can predict your every move, culture stops paying attention. That's why surprise is part of real innovation. If you remember, Puma and Fenty wasn't just another collab, it shocked the market and it actually worked. Crocs and Balenciaga, it was ridiculous on paper, but iconic in reality. And what about the Tesla Cybertruck? I mean, nobody expected that design, but people couldn't stop talking about it. Surprise makes innovation visible. Without it, breakthroughs get ignored. But there's a catch. Surprise without substance is a gimmick. The collab, the stunt, the drop, it only lasts if the product underneath is strong. You see, the magic is when innovation and surprise actually come together. That's when brands shift culture. So here's how I think about it as someone who's lived this inside Puma, Disney, and now I see it with founders every single day. Ask yourself these 5 questions. Number 1, does this solve a real need? If not, it's just freshness, it's not real innovation. Number 2, can you name it? If not, it's invisible to the consumer. Number 3, does it break your category box? If not, you're still trapped. Number 4, does it surprise people? If not, it will not be remembered. And number 5, would culture miss this if it disappeared? If not, it's not real innovation. If your idea fails this checklist, it's not innovation, it's decoration at best. And decoration doesn't keep you alive. Okay, so let's bring this home. Real innovation changes the game. Freshness fades. Don't wait for perfect timing. Culture moves way too fast for this. If you can't name your innovation, you don't own it. Category labels will trap you if you let them. Surprise is the spark that makes innovation matter. Innovation isn't marketing, it's your brand's survival. And I say this not just as an observer, but as someone who's actually lived it. At Puma, I saw product innovations spark global waves. At Disney, I saw how IP innovation turned stories into empires. And today, working with founders, I see how the same rules apply at every scale. So here's my challenge to you. Look at what you're building right now and ask yourself honestly, is this innovation or is this just decoration? Because imitation is everywhere. Freshness, newness, is cheap. The only brands that survive are the ones innovating so clearly, so boldly that culture can't ignore them. And you see, innovation these days isn't optional anymore. It's oxygen for your brand, and without it, your brand won't make it.